Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. So today is going to be a little bit different. We haven't done one of these in quite a while. If you've been subscribed to me since the very beginning, I've obviously have archived all of these videos. But if you saw my video on me reacting to my old makeup content, you would know that this used to be a fully blown makeup beauty guru channel. Will this channel become fully beauty makeup again? I'm not 100% sure. That kind of just depends on what you guys like and what you guys want to see from me, but it's not like I'm opposed. But I thought it'd be interesting because I feel like I talk about makeup all the time. Most of the time I come on here with a full face of makeup, and I wanted to show you guys exactly what my everyday makeup routine looks like using my everyday most go-to holy grail products. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to be showing you my everyday makeup routine. This is a makeup look where I know that I'm going to look good at the end of it if I'm in a rush or like I need to just do my makeup super quickly to get out the door. This is usually the makeup that I do on content days when I go out and take pictures for my Instagram. It's like a foolproof method that I know always works. So I know that this routine looks good on me. If you don't like it, that's totally fine. It is a full glam makeup, but I am a full glam girly. I grew up watching 2016 makeup tutorials, and I've been doing makeup content since 2012. Everything in this video is going to be linked in the description, so if there's something that you want to try, or if there's something that caught your eye in this video, everything will be listed in the description. But let's just get right into this video of my everyday makeup routine.
I've been trying to make it for some time, but all I see is enemies. I've been steady focused on my grind.
So I've already done all of my skincare, skin prep kind of stuff, and I kind of like it to just like sit on my skin for like 10-15 minutes if I can before I start putting makeup on, so then it just goes on a lot smoother. So that's done. So we're gonna first start out with primer. I have been using this since it came out. I mean, I don't even know when it was. This one was the secondary one to it. There was the one that was first in like the pot, and I really liked the pot, but something about like the more liquid one that's in the tube, I think I like it a little bit better. I put that all my T-zone and then just kind of blend it out. I kind of like to put my primer pretty much everywhere if I can, just in case. I feel like it really just locks in everything, and I have such oily skin that I want to make sure it's not moving. Okay, so as you can see, I have some breakouts and some redness. I always do. This is something that I've always struggled with. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of a spot concealer. I have been really liking this NYX serum one. I've had this in my collection actually for a really long time. I never used it, and then when I ran out of the pot concealer that I had been using for years by Makeup Revolution, instead of going out and like spending more money, I was like, let me go and actually go through my collection and see if there's a concealer in here. And I found this one, and now I am absolutely obsessed with it. So I usually do this and spot conceal like when I'm just going out really quickly, or if I'm running to the gym, I like to put like a little bit of concealer on, and it's such a good color for my skin tone that you really can't tell. So I just do a layer of that and let it sit there for a few minutes before we do our actual foundation. So my go-to foundation is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. I think this is the best foundation from the drugstore, and probably top 3 best foundations ever. I have so many foundations in my makeup collection, but I always go back to this one. This shade in particular is a little bit darker on my skin. This is shade 102, but I don't know why I like this shade a lot better, even though it is a little bit darker. Once we start putting concealer, powder, blush, all of that jazz, it will come together. I am just gonna go in and apply this everywhere, and I always use a beauty sponge. This one is by Real Techniques, and I've been a Real Techniques girl for, I don't know, 8-9 years at this point. I'm always the one that I would go to because everyone loved the original Beauty Blender. But being a broke college student when I was super into makeup, spending $20 on a sponge was not gonna be something that I was going to be able to afford. So I started using the Real Techniques one. I really like the Morphe sponges as well, but I've just always gone back to these ones. So liquid bronzer can kind of fluctuate. I do have quite a few favorites, but the one that I've been using the most is the one from the Beauty Crop. This is their Juice Pot liquid bronzer, and I am in the shade Caramel. And even I think this is the lightest shade, so if you are even fairer than me, I feel like it could be hard to actually use this. And I'm just gonna go in with a brush. I used to use a sponge for bronzer as well, but I started using a brush for this, and I ended up liking it a lot better because it really just adds like a natural glow to your skin and a natural color without it being like too dark. And then the brush I'm using, this is a Morphe M447 brush. That's the skin so far. My next step is concealer. Now concealers, I really honestly pretty much use the different ones every single time I do my makeup. I don't know why. There was like a phase where I was buying so many concealers. These are all my concealers. I have them all in here. So it's a lot. I kind of range from different things. One of my favorites is from Jaclyn Cosmetics, but you can't buy this anymore. So I am not gonna use that one today because you obviously can't buy it. So I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. This one is in the shade Fair Warm. And then I'm gonna use a tiny little sponge. This is again by Real Techniques. This is for their specifically for concealer. And I'm gonna blend this out as well. Okay, so there is that. I would say in the last year and a half, I really started getting into liquid blush. I never was a liquid blush person, but now I really like to start layering everything. You can see we did a liquid bronzer, we're gonna do a liquid blush, you could do a liquid highlight. The more products you add, the better your makeup is gonna look, honestly. But you just have to make sure that you do it in the right way so it doesn't look cakey. So for liquid blush, there are a lot that I really have started to like. There's still tons of brands out there that I haven't had a chance to try yet, but the brands I use the most are Jaclyn Cosmetics, e.l.f., and Palladio. And I think I'm gonna go with Palladio. This one is in the shade Cool Pink. These are super pigmented, so like one little swipe is a great way to start. And again, I'm going to take a brush here and we're going to blend that out. Obviously a sponge is going to soak up your product a little bit easier. So a brush, if you want something to be really pigmented, use a brush. And then sometimes after I do that, I will go back with my concealer sponge and just blend that together because I get such bad creasing under my eyes. It does not matter how much product I use or what product I use. I have not been able to figure out how to defeat under eye creasing. So this is the one product by Jaclyn Cosmetics I still use religiously and I don't have an alternative. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just her correcting press powder. This is in the color Correcting Fair. I have this much left and then I have one backup and then that's it. And then I use a triangle sponge and this is how I set my concealer in my under eye. If you can find something like this that kind of gives this effect, it really, really makes a huge difference with your makeup, I'm telling you. So like I said, because I do have oilier skin, I do like to set my face with two different powders. The first one is going to be a loose powder. This one is by the Beauty Bakery. This is their Flower Setting Powder. The shade Oat, or it's just translucent. So I will actually take a foundation brush, but I use it just for powder. It's JH03, which of course you guys can't buy these anymore, but I will put something similar in the description. Just take some powder here, and then I just start to set. I always set like the foundation concealer area first, and then, gosh, then I'll go over like the blush and bronzer a little bit to just make sure that's gonna be set. We're still gonna add bronzer on top of it. I want it to be able to be set and it is not moving, girl. This is a step, I don't always do this. It kind of just depends on how bad my skin is at the moment, which adding more makeup doesn't necessarily make it better for your skin, but this is what I do. I go in with the foundation powder just on areas that I feel like needs a little extra coverage after we've done all of the powders and liquids. So this is Studio Fix by MAC. I'm in the shade NW15 and I go in with the same brush and I will just go over those certain areas. So powder foundation is obviously going to give you extra coverage as well as continuously setting your makeup. So since we've set the entire face with powder, obviously the liquid blush, the liquid bronzer has kind of dulled down a little bit. So we want to add that warmth and that life back to the skin because otherwise we're gonna be looking very flat and it's not cute. My bronzer, this one is by Fenty. This is in the shade Into Sun. I'm gonna use a Luxie 514 brush and I'm just going to go over that liquid bronzer just to add a little bit extra of warmth to the skin. You just wanna be really careful. We just wanna add a little bit of that warmth back into there so there is some dimension within the face. So same thing with blush. I will use a powder blush on top of whatever liquid blush that we use. Obviously, I want to keep it in the same color family. So the Palladio one was a very nice, pretty, purpley, beautiful pink. So obviously, we want to do that for the powder. So I'm going to go in with a MAC blush. I think that MAC has the best blushes. And I said what I said. This is in the shade Pink Swoon. This is also a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH04 brush, but it's really just any angled brush you want to use. This blush I feel like isn't crazy pigmented as like some other blushes, so I can really dig in here and like, yeah, it's gonna give me a good wash of color on the face. I personally love blush, so I will add it as much as possible. You don't have to be like intimidated by this shade because it's not like in your face, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You get it. So all the powders are done. Obviously it is looking nice and smooth, but it's still looking flat. So we do want to add some highlight. I am still a 2016 girly. I will do a blinding highlight every single day, but if you don't want to, but I still would suggest adding some sort of a highlight so that your face doesn't look so flat and like fake like. So I'm going to go in with a setting spray before we do our highlight. I usually go in with Max Fix Plus. I don't think she's working anymore. And then my second favorite is the One Size. And this is also empty. We're gonna go on with my third favorite. This is Urban Decay All Nighter. This one has been around forever. So I'm just going to spray my entire face. On my face, you can see there is like a glow and I look wet. You don't wanna add highlight yet. I wanna let this sit in my skin for a second before I add highlight. Otherwise, it's gonna start looking a little chunky. And we don't want a chunky highlight. We want a nice, natural, beautiful glow. I love highlight. It's one of my favorites, but this one has been my current favorite. This is by Makeup Revolution. This is their Diamond Glow highlight. Go in with a Morphe Y14 brush. It's like the most perfect highlighting brush. And so I go right on the tip of my nose. Look at that. Even if you just did that, your skin looks more awake and alive. I'm gonna go right down the bridge of my nose. I don't contour my nose, so I just do that and it kind of gives it, Then we're gonna go right on the tops of the cheekbones, and then a little bit above the brow. So for brows, I have been doing the same brow routine forever. I feel like brows is like the one thing that a lot of people never change. So I still use Dip Brow by Anastasia, but because I have lighter brows, whenever I've tried to use a pencil, I don't know if it's just like the few pencils that I've tried just haven't worked out for me. I usually have to get, you know, like one of the lighter shades, and there's just, I feel like never any pigment coming through the pencil. I just use a little bit, and then I just use, of course, an angled brush and fill it in. I've gotten my brows to the shape that I like, so I really don't need to add like a ton of product. I usually just mostly add it at the bottom of my brow. I add a tail, and then usually like the top is where I'll add the most, but I'm not giving like 2016 block brows. Brows are honestly my least favorite part of doing my makeup routine. I just always hated them. But now that I started doing them like this, it takes 30 seconds, and so it doesn't aggravate me as much. To set those, I always go in with the NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel. I think I've been using this for nearly 10 years. I don't use any other brow gel. I do like MAC's Brow Gel, but only time I ever was using MAC's Brow Gel was when I worked at Ulta for MAC, and I would either get it in gratis or I would use my discount for it. But that brow gel is really, really good if you want to splurge on it. Okay, so now we're gonna do eyeshadow. Okay, so my palette is very dirty. Okay, so don't judge me, but if you have a clean collection, I wanna see it. Like if you have no makeup on all of your makeup, I wanna see it. But I have makeup everywhere, I have smudges everywhere. It's not looking cute all the time. And I don't really care because I'm the only one that uses it. For my eyeshadow, I'm gonna go in with the Orgy palette by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I really like this palette because it really just has every neutral you could ever need. I usually pack this palette and then one colorful palette for like if I'm going on a trip or going on vacation or something, because I know that I can create any look with just this palette, and having a colorful palette just gives me like extra options. But 9 times out of 10, we're doing this makeup look anyway. So we're gonna go in with this fluffy brush here. This is kind of just a very generic like dome fluffy brush. And I'm gonna go in and mix together Top and Safe Sex. And we're using this as a transition shade. So I just try to use very little. This is just a good way to start your eye out because before we're just gonna have concealer on the eye, and so I wanna make sure that we don't go from like stark white concealer to like a really chocolatey brown. So you can see like how little eyeshadow there's actually on my eye compared to this one, but it just brings a little extra dimension to the eyeshadow look and just kind of pulls it all together. We're gonna go in with a more tapered dome brush, and then we're gonna mix 2 shades again. I'm gonna go in with this shade Kungalingus. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And Craving Chocolate. And we're going to just go on the outer corner and place that right on the edge and then start blending it into that transition shade, giving the eye a little extra dimension, and we're gonna blend it out into that highlight blush bronzer. Then you can go back in with the first brush. I don't have any extra product on it, and just blend those 2 together. So from here, sometimes I'll stop here if I feel like it's enough. I don't want to go too dark for the daytime, but usually I add a little extra. I'm gonna still use the same brush that we just used, and I'm gonna go in with Money Shot, which is this dark shade down here at the bottom. These eyeshadows are really pigmented, so I don't really have to add too much. I don't really have to dig into the actual pan of the shadow. So this just adds a little extra dimension to the eye. Taking the same brush, we're gonna mix together Money Shot, Craving Chocolate, and Top. And I just pretty much blend that on the lower lash line. Okay, so those are all the browns. So now we need to put something on the inner corner. I'm always a shimmer person. I don't really do a fully matte eye very often. So I always go in with this one. This has been my favorite one since I discovered it. I'm literally obsessed with this eyeshadow. This is the best. I'm not a single eyeshadow person. I usually just prefer palettes. It's just a lot easier to work with them and travel with them and keep it organized in my collection. But this is like one of the only single eyeshadows that I have because it's so good. This is by ColourPop. This is in the shade Ladybird. Look at that. Why I love this is because if you want like this intensity, you usually have to add like a setting spray or something to kind of like bring it to life. And this one, you just don't. If they ever discontinue this, I'm coming for ColourPop. And then after I've put that on the lid, I just take whatever's left on the brush and just put that under my brow as a highlight. And our eyeshadow is done. Okay, so for eyeliners, I use a liquid liner and then I also use a pencil for my waterline and my tightline. So for my waterline and tightline, I use MAC Smolder. This is by far the best kohl liner I have ever tried on the market. This is like the only pencil that actually stays on my waterline all day. A lot of other pencils that I've tried, they'll be great when I first put it on, and then in a couple hours or like I'm out through the day, my waterline eyeliner is like gone. I didn't want that. Thank you so much. The top for my wing, I used to really love the e.l.f. liquid liner, and I still do, but I haven't used it in a long time. Ever since I discovered her. This is the Super Precise Eyeliner by Essence. It stays on all day. It doesn't smudge. It's waterproof. It's literally the best. And even if you had to retouch it up, $2.99 versus like a $20 eyeliner, everyone's picking the $2.99 eyeliner, right? Then for mascara, for my lower lash line, I always go in with the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash, and I don't use anything else for my lower lashes because it's so small and precise. And it really gives you like that spidery lash. So this mascara is worth paying the price of this mascara. For the top lashes, I've been using pretty much the same mascara for years now, which is the mascara by Essence. This is the Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. This mascara is incredible. Again, I think it's like $2.99. This mascara is so good. I have to say, this is literally one of the best, if not the best. I'm gonna do my eyeliner and my mascara off camera. If I come back to do lips, and then we're gonna be done. Okay, so I actually also forgot to mention that at the beginning of my makeup, I always have something on my lips if I don't have lipstick on. So I want to make sure that my lips are super moisturized by the time I get to my lip combo routine. So I always have lip oil, chapstick, Aquaphor on my lips. So by the time I get to my lips, it's absorbed into my lips so they feel moisturized and ready to go. And then your products just kind of like glide on a little bit easier. Because I still am a matte lip girly. Sometimes I'll do like a lip oil later on in the day, but I always start the day with a matte lip. We don't want them to be crusty, dusty, busty because that's not cute. And that's not kissable. We want our lips to be kissable. So the lip combo obviously can change based off of the eye look, but since we are doing an everyday makeup look and this is like what I normally wear on a day-to-day basis, I'm gonna show you my normal day-to-day lip. My top 3 lip liners are from MAC, and as you can tell that I like them. Yeah, some of them need a refill. So we have Cork, Spice, and Strip Down. Lately I've been using Strip Down a lot, so we're gonna use that one today because it is a nice, really neutral, like really good shade. So obviously I'm just gonna line my lips. Oh my gosh. So with my lips, my top left lip is just a little bit thinner than my top right lip. I don't really personally ever want to get lip filler because I can just easily overdraw. Lip filler can be really expensive. So I usually have to overdraw a little bit just so that the Cupid's bow and my lips are completely even. This can take me 10 minutes. I'm not even joking because I hate when my lips are uneven. So I'm gonna speed through this because this could be a minute. This could take a while. We did it. So again, my lip color can kind of change depending on what I'm thinking. I have quite a few different nudes in my collection that I really like. There are a lot from Jaclyn Cosmetics that I like, but again, like I said, you guys can't buy those anymore. So I want to show you products that you can actually purchase. So the other 2 that I like to gravitate towards the most are by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I have Celebrity Skin and I'm Nude. Kind of just depends on how nude I want to go, and I think I want to go with I'm Nude today. So I just really add this right in the center, and then I'll go back in with my liner and just kind of like blend those two together. Then we will just do one last spray of setting spray. And that is it. That is my entire everyday makeup routine. Like I said, this is usually what I do when I want to be on autopilot, when I just want to get ready and go, if I'm in a rush, or if I want a look that I know that I'm going to look good in. This is usually the look that I go towards with these products. Like I said, everything is going to be linked in the description below. So if there's anything that you want to try or anything that really caught your eye in this video, you can just go down there and grab it. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so that you can join me on this journey of this channel growing. Because our goal is to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And we're a little bit far away. We still have quite a bit of growth to go. I know that we will get there eventually. But if you enjoyed stuff like this, there's also tons of more makeup content that I do on my Instagram and my TikTok. So please go over there and follow me as well. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.